Hi everybody, it's Kathy here from Beads, Boxes, and Beyond, and today I'm going to show you how I did these little journaling notebooks, just real small ones, to tuck in different spots in your journals, pockets and things. I made these because it is around the fall season. All the Halloween stuff is starting to come out, and I just wanted to share. This isn't anything new, but it's just a twist on something I thought maybe you guys might be interested in. Give it a try. I went to Michael's the other day, and I picked up a package of these. Kind of glary, isn't it? A package of these Martha Stewart place cards, and I just love the look of the spider and the spider web. So anyways, let me get back to my thoughts here. These are place cards, and Michael's has a whole, at our Michael's, it had a whole aisle of Martha Stewart Halloween decorations and things, party stuff. And when I went down the aisle, I picked up a few things, but when I saw these cards, I'm like, those would make really sweet looking mini little journals, or just little notepads to stick into your journals. So this is what I did. I made these little booklets, and I used some lined paper, and one of them here, I just used some of my remnant coffee stain paper. Now I don't have a whole lot of remnant coffee stain paper anymore, so I ended up finding a tablet like this, and I can't remember, it was a clothing outlet or something like that. It was back in the housewares, and I just really like it because it's a craft paper, and it has lines on it already, so I don't have to worry about staining the paper. I like the color as is. The lines, they aren't really you know, precisely done. They look like they've been done with somebody's own hand. So I like that aspect of it too. So when I am out looking around and shopping, I'm always looking for paper products and stuff like this, any stores, and using them in my journals. So let's get back to this. Oops. So what I started out with is one of Martha's cards. Now, you know, you can go in the bridal section and you can find some really cute things, any kind of party goods, anything like that. And during the seasons, you'll find all kinds of place cards. And you don't have to use place cards. I mean, this could be a really nice piece of cardstock, excuse me, or paper that you can put on cardstock and make your own little booklet. So this just gives you an idea. So the first thing I did when I did this, excuse me, I have my sanding block, and the first thing I want to do to make it look a little aged is I'm just going to go around and I'm just going to rough up the sides, just like that, and even the fold, like that, around the corners. Okay, so that's what I do with that. And then I take my ink, and I have distressed ink, and this is in Walnut Stain, one of my favorite colors. And then I go around and I just ink the edges, okay? And wherever it's roughed up, it's going to soak in that ink and give it an aged look. Now, I'm not one to enjoy seeing stark white. So even though this is like it's not quite white, it's more of an ivory, I'm still going to cover that up with my ink and give it that tingy old yellow look to it. Okay? Now, the inside, same thing, it's white. I don't like white, so we're going to just cover that up. Now, if you want to go further than this, and you're one of those that likes to put bling on your items, then you go right ahead and you can put any kind of bling you want on it. or, you know, paint on it or whatever you want to do to your heart's content. Now, because it's a little dry, wet and not dry, it's going to leave my fingerprints. So you could hit that with a heat tool, a heat drying tool, but I'm just going to let it go right now because we're going to make this a fairly quick video. So the next thing is, inside my little booklet, I have 4 pages. So from my booklet here, I'm just going to take 2 pages, take those off, and then this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to measure. I am going to just set this here and give myself an idea of what line to cut this on, and it's going to be about right there. Okay, you want it a little smaller than the size of this, so that's just a shy bit smaller. Then I'm going to take my trusty old cutting board, my itty bitty one. Is this cool or what? I got this such a long time ago. Back when people were starting to print their own photographs, and you know how they always sold those little tiny printers just for pictures and things like that. This was online or something I found, and I bought it, and it's for that. It's called a super trimmer, and I don't even know who makes it or where I got it, but it's got this little storage unit inside here to put your paper clips and stuff, but I never used that. But because of my craft work and all, I thought it'd be really neat at the time to pick it up. I wasn't getting it for photos. I was getting it for my little crafts and things. So it works out just wonderfully for me. So I'm going to cut these off. I'm going to just go on this one side and make it a little shorter and cut here. Okay. Then I'm going to take this black line out of here because I don't want that on the uppermost part of my page. Okay. And then I'm just going to stack these on top. Give me an idea where to cut this one. And like I said, I'm not being too precise. I don't know what the size is. This is just over 3 1/4 inches. Really. So I don't, you know, the cutting boards, I don't use the ones that have the X-Acto blade thingy in it. I don't know, I prefer old school. So, yeah, I have a larger one. It's about, you know, yay big, like you use in elementary school. And I use that for all my cutting too. So cutting boards, the old school way, that's for me. So now I folded them in half, real simple here. But I just think what I'm going to do is, instead of doing it that way, I'm going to have it, in my book, I'm going to have the lined, and then I'm going to have plain, and then I'm going to have lined and then plain. So I'm going to redo that, and I'm going to fold them again. Okay, so I have, when I open my book, I have, oops, get in the camera here, I've got lined, and then I'll have the plain pages, and then I'll have lined, and so on and so forth. So the next step that I do is I'm going to, where's my piece here? I want to put this in here, just like that. I'm going to take my pencil, and I'm just going to run this along the edge as a guideline. Okay, and I want to cut on the inside of that because I want it to be, the pages to kind of be inside of the cover of this. And what I use, oops, I love these, I don't know if you can see that, decal edged. I love that. I mean, it's like ripped paper. Now, if you don't have a pair of these, no big deal. You can just take your ruler and, you know, just lay it right on the line like that and tear it up like that if you want. But I have these scissors, and I'm going to cut each one of the pages individually and use that first one as a guide. And they don't have to be perfect. But the reason why I do them individually is because if you do them all at the same time, they're all going to be cut with the same wave in the paper, and sometimes they tend to stick a little bit. So I'm going to cut all of that. Now I already did a packet already, so let's put that aside. So here's my packet. I've already got all the edges cut on them. The other thing that I did when I got done, I went ahead and I inked all the edges on both sides of each page to give it that aged, grungy look. Okay. And so now we're ready to put them in our cover. So what we're going to do is you're going to slide it in here like this. See, it all fits kind of nicely. It's okay if it hangs over a little bit, you know, it just adds a little bit to it. I just didn't want to hang it over too much. You might know the basics of putting in pages in your little books, but I will go over this really, really quickly. We're going to find the center, and I just love a center rule. Center rule is so easy to use. So you just line it up and you find the center, and then my holes are going to be an inch apart, so I have it at 1, 0, and 1. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my really nifty Tim Holtz hole puncher. Okay, it's really what in the old school it's called an ice pick. My dad always had an ice pick in his toolbox, but this is called a hole punch now. So I'm going to take my hole punch and I'm going to punch right where I marked those markings. So I got one at the top and the bottom and in the center, and I'm going all the way through, okay? All the way through. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Tim Holtz ink here, and I'm just going to ink over those holes on the back because when I punched them through, a little bit of white was showing. So I kind of want to just dull that up a little bit. All right, next thing, we're going to put the we're going to put the books together, okay? And let me just grab this really quick here. And I have 3 beads. I've got 2 small ones and a large red one. Just make sure when you're doing, if you want to do the beads, and the reason why I have the beads on them, okay, I forgot to tell you about that, is when you tuck this into a pocket, either sideways or up and down, this just gives you a little something to pull on to when you pull it out, okay? So, yeah, I just incorporated that into the threading of putting it all together, all right? So this is what I'm going to do. I take my thread, and this is actually hemp. I had a huge roll of this hemp I used for some micro macrame that's left over. So it comes in all different kinds of colors, and that's what I'm using right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in from the back, okay, in from the back of the book to the inside, and we're going to leave ourselves a nice little tail, okay? And I have a needle on the other end because I didn't want you to have to sit there and watch me thread a needle, but you could use one needle, all right? I'm just trying to omit you sitting there watching me thread a needle. So then you come out, and then you're going to go in the center and go back out the back, just like this, like you're sewing, you know, in and out, and then back up like this through the bottom. And then going back, we're going to go back in the center like that, like so. So this is what it looks like on the inside. You've got the 2 stitches on the inside, and this is what it looks like on the outside, okay? This is where you started, and this is where you end. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 2 threads, and we're going to tie a knot. And I'm going to try and get this knot as close as I can to this hole right here. Okay, so we're going to do a square knot. Everybody remember, square knots, right over left and left over right. I'm going to do this without getting my needle lost. So we got right over left, and now we're going to do left over right. And get this done. And this is such a cute little quick thing, and this would be even great for party favors if you want to do something like that. It would be really neat to have it with those twig pencils. I know somewhere online there's a way of, they show you how to make those twig pencils. That would be a really cool gift, you know, for a party favor or housewarming or anything like that. So now the next thing I'm going to do is untangle these so I can get them corrected here. You could very easily get one needle with a bigger eye in it and do both of them at the same time, but I'm afraid they're not going to fit through my beads. So the first one, I'm going to take my first string here with a needle, and I'm going to put it through with a little one, and then I'm going to put it in through the red one, and then the other little metal bead, just like that, okay? So that's what I have, all right? Now we're going to take the other needle, which is the other end of the string that was sticking out of the book. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go in the same way, right? We're going to thread these back through. Metal, glass, metal. Just like that, okay? So that way both threads are going out like that. You're just threading it on the 2 threads is all that you're doing, okay? Now, the next step is we're going to put it through this middle hole of our back of the cover here. And we're just going to bring it up through the center. Okay, and with this one we're going to go across this one bottom section of string there, okay? And the reason why I do that is to just secure it. Next one we're going to come up through the hole and we're going to go in the opposite direction. Now this one we went that way, so this one we're going to go this way. All right, so we've got it like that. Now the reason why I do that is because it's all tied together, and that knot will not, once we make the knot, will not get pulled through the back of the book because it's string upon string, tied upon tie. Okay, I don't know if that makes much sense to you, but if you would have just pulled them through it and tied a knot, there would have been a hole there that they very easily could have come through. But we're doing it this way to secure it a little bit more. So let me show you once again what I did there. Okay, so maybe make it a little bit easier to see. All right, so we had both of our strings. We ran them through here, brought it through the center hole. And then in our center hole, we have these 2 strings coming out, okay? You're going to take one of the strings and you're going to go, oops, you're going to take one of the strings and you're going to go this way and bring it through, okay? And then the other string that you have, you're going to take it the opposite way, under, and bring it through. And it got caught there, okay? So that's what you got, okay? So now we're going to tie a knot with this. So we're going to take them and we're going to do our square knot again. We're going to do, oops, right over left. Like so. And left over right. And I could take the needles off of these, just so I wouldn't stab myself, but we're going to be courageous. All right, and do a nice tie like that. And we're going to get our scissors right here, and we're just going to cut that off. And there we go. So now your beading is secure. It's a nice little pull tab for your booklet. And you know, you can look at it this way and open it up if you had the coffee stained paper. But because it's lined, you know, you can do it this way. Okay, we got the lined paper, and then we got plain paper, and then we got lined paper, and then plain paper. And there's the center of the signature. So yeah, I think this is such a neat little nifty idea to just be able to tuck it in a pocket. I wish I had a pocket laying around here that I could kind of put it in to see how it's going to work, but I think it'll be just fine. So I hope this gives you some inspiration. Use what you have, and things like this show up in thrift stores an awful lot. If you find place cards, it's something to do with them, an idea, okay? If you have any comments, you can leave them below. If you have questions, leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you if there's something that you didn't quite understand. I apologize for the bright washout light, but the sun is setting, and the video I did earlier had glitches in it and it didn't quite work out. So the sun's already setting and it's getting dark out, so I couldn't use the natural light. I hate using the light when I'm videotaping, so I apologize. If you are interested in seeing more of my videos, I mean, I have a few more on my channel, but if you're interested in seeing any new ones, just subscribe to my channel, and you'll be informed when there's a new one being posted. You can give me a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. And like I said, leave a comment if you've got a question or a comment. You can also follow me on my Facebook page, Beads, Boxes, and Beyond. And there I post an awful lot of things that are going on in my art life. I really try to keep it all artsy and not private stuff. And then Instagram, I also have an Instagram spot. And on that one, I try to do it all art and what I'm, surrounded around, what inspires me, things like that. You can follow me there. Let's see. I think that's about it. And yeah, I hope this inspires you. And I would love to find out if you go on my Facebook page or Instagram, especially Facebook, you can always upload pictures of what you do with this idea. I would love to see them and share them with everybody that's friends with me on Facebook, okay? So thanks again for stopping in. I apologize for the bright light, and I hope this inspires you. And we will talk again next time, okay? For now, I'll see you later, and have a good evening. Bye.